So what else can we do?
Sure. So notice the stuff that I do with my face, for example. Let's talk about the face here. In that, what do you? You tell me, Sean. What do you notice about my face when I'm in this interview with you? What is it that you notice that is engaging about my face?
You look very happy.
Right.
First off, yeah, definitely very happy and kind of animated.
Right. So the reason that you might believe that there's a sense of happiness is that what I'm trying to do the majority of the time is give you what we call a Duchenne smile, which is the sides of the mouth turn up and the eyes narrow to put little wrinkles here. And that's a universal gesture across the planet, yeah, that you are unconsciously programmed to respond to in a way that says there must be something good going on. Because he's smiling, it's good. There's something good happening. So it's the universal signal of it's good now. And I can do this on purpose, yeah? Now, look, meanwhile, we're having this interview, and look, the reality is, the authentic reality is this is my home office, by the way, and as I was telling you earlier, Sean, we have no, because it's so cold in Toronto at the moment where I am, and the permafrost has gone right down, we've got no water coming into the building right now.
Yeah.
So actually, on my mind at the moment is, so, what are we going to do about getting the water in? We're going to have to go out and buy a whole bunch of water. How are we going to cope with all of that? Yeah, and that actually is because, as you know, for human beings, when human beings don't have water, it's a pretty big problem.
Yeah,
especially human beings like me who are used to having it piped to them.
Yeah.
So in terms of my guess is you come across, Sean, and your listeners will at some point, maybe you've talked about it on a show at some point, you probably come across Maslow's pyramid, the hierarchy of needs, where at the bottom, in the hierarchy of needs, you've got, the basic things, food, light, heat, water. Yeah. And above that, you've got things like relationships, being part of a group. And then right at the top of the pyramid, you've got what they call self-actualization, which is kind of feeling fulfilled and feeling, spiritually fulfilled to a certain extent. Well, at the moment, for me, the bottom of Maslow's pyramid has been kind of ripped out. I've got no water. Yeah. And that's not like I can't get it because I only need to walk, a few yards round the corner and be able to lift. Well, I'll probably have to shift maybe about 32 liters of the stuff. It's going to be pretty heavy. So it's not a huge problem. Yet I am consumed by this problem. But my guess is, if I hadn't told you that, you just wouldn't know. Because I'm choosing purposely not to show it in my body, because it wouldn't be helpful to show it in my body. It wouldn't help our interaction, our relationship, and it wouldn't help the interaction with your viewers, your listeners at the moment, okay? Now, if I were to show it in my body, then what you'd probably get is this here, somebody who's already thinking, look, I'm down to, I've only got that much of a glass of water left, yeah, for this interview. So even just taking a sip is a little bit worrying. Yeah, and you'd have this person here. Now, tell me about your thoughts, feelings, and concerns about the person you're now interviewing. How do I come across to you now?
Yeah, well, you're clearly upset. You're disgruntled. You've got a lot on your mind. You don't look like you're enjoying yourself. You don't want to be here. Right.
So what if I tell you, Sean, look, I'm really happy to do this interview with you.
Yeah.
Great. It's great to talk to you and to your viewers and listeners today. Does that make it any better for you?
No, I mean, your mouth is saying it, but your body and facial expressions are not saying it, and it doesn't mean anything when that's going on to me.
And I guess even for those who are just listening to this at the moment, my guess is though they didn't see the body language, they could hear in the tone of voice that it's somebody who kind of doesn't want to be there. The tone of voice doesn't fit the words that I'm using. Does that make sense, Sean?
Yeah, so I was wondering that. Does your tone of voice typically automatically change based on your bodily expressions and things like that?
Yeah, let's just test that. Here I am with this body language that I'm giving you now, where my head is away from you at an angle, my chin is down, my brows furrowed, and my body is more slumped, I would say. What do you notice about my tone of voice that's coming from that? Because I'm not doing anything with my tone. I'm just speaking naturally in a way that comes with this physical position. What do you notice about that tone of voice, Sean, and how would you describe it, and how does it make you feel?
It's almost like a sad tone of voice. It's slower. It's just dull, and it's fascinating that that's just how you speak naturally because of the way you are putting yourself in that position. Yeah.
So it's dull. We're getting this downward intonation that comes at the end of each line, which is a universal signal for depression or that something is over. It generally has a negative connotation to it psychologically. And my guess is that you're almost feeling like checking out of this interview. And some of your listeners, I won't do this too long, because some of your listeners would actually start to switch off. If they haven't already drifted off somewhere else, they've disengaged. It's disengaging.
Yeah. It is hard to keep interested in. I could feel my mind kind of just floating around, looking around the room. Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you're having to work right now at staying engaged with me.
I am.
I'm causing you to have to do the work of engaging. And I would say that's not good, because if you're not part of my tribe, you will just disengage immediately, and I'll lose you. And you could have been a great opportunity for me, and I could have been a great opportunity for you. So let's change that tone of voice, and we're going to change the tone of voice simply by changing my body. I'm honestly not going to do anything with my vocal cords. Yeah, they're quite hard to manipulate anyway. So here I go. All I'm going to do is sit more upright in my chair, and again, bring my hands to an open position at the chest area. What do you already notice about your behavior around me, Sean? I can see you're smiling immediately on the camera there.
Yeah. It's night and day. Yeah, night and day. Exactly. You've gone from darkness into light. Yeah.
Again, describe what you notice about the tonality of my voice now. Now my hands have moved to chest height and they're open.
It's gone up. It's exciting. It's sped up slightly, and that downward inflection is gone, and it's exciting. Like, I want to listen to what you're saying. I'm like captivated.
Right, and it's the same guy giving you the same content. And remember, a while ago, you were having to work and you wanted to disengage. And also, here's the interesting thing. You've got a vested interest in this and you want to disengage. Like, you've invited me here. And if I do that body language, your primitive brain goes, let's just get out of this. There must be somebody else to talk to. Yeah? And look, here, you've got, you've managed, through your ability to connect with people, you've managed to get one of the top body language experts in the world on your show with you. Yeah, so you've done a great thing there. But can you already feel how your gut is telling you there must be somebody better? There must be a more interesting interview to have. Yeah, and the moment I turn around and I bring myself here, suddenly you're delighted by the expectations. You go, oh, great, I made the right choice. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's the same guy. It's the same person. I'm just manipulating you to feel a different way about me. Now, I've just got to know, though I unconsciously, this may have more comfort for me. This may be the more honest and truthful and authentic behavior for me. It's not good for our relationship. Yeah, it's not good. It's not going to get us what we need. Yeah, let's just have a listen to the tone of voice now. If I just bring my hands down to this belly area here. So I'm in the truth plane again, open hand gestures. Yeah, again, what do you notice about the tone of voice that's naturally coming with this? I'm not trying to manipulate my voice in any way. I'm just allowing it to do what it naturally wants to do with this body language. Give me some feedback on that, Sean. How does this feel to you?
It's less exciting and intense, but it's very relaxed and very truthful, like you said. Like you're about to tell me a story, something very like serious or an anecdote or something.
Okay, so it has more. Sometimes people say it has more kind of gravitas to it. It has more quality. It's not heavy like you had before. Still has a lightness that can engage, but it's not as frivolous as up here at the chest area. Yeah? Oh, let me just show you this. All I'm going to do is now drop my hands down by my sides. They're just kind of between my legs now in my kind of lap area. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I want you to notice, what do you notice now about the way you're responding to me and my tone of voice? How do I come across to you now?
You come across very boring and monotone and just like someone who doesn't have anything interesting to say.
Right. So all I've done is just drop my hands down, down by the side, and you could do this standing. Most people will do this standing, in fact, because it's the most efficient way to stand in terms of energy, to stand with your hands down by your side, because it takes very little energy to do it. To stand with your hands in this truth plane or in the passion plane takes way more energy. So we'll tend to do this, but you're naturally finding that my vocal tone, the vocal tone that comes with this, isn't engaging for you. And what if I tell you, Sean, that you have on your show right now one of the world's top, in fact, I was ranked for last year and this year the #1 body language professional in the world. So that's who you have. Yeah, that's who you have on your show. And what are you optimistic about this interview right now? Are you pessimistic?
In the present state, it's pessimistic based on how you're acting.
Right, but it's been okay. The guy who you were interviewing before was pretty good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, you still got the same guy.
Yeah.
My knowledge hasn't gone anywhere. Okay, so you're still going to get the same quality of content. I'm just going to deliver it like this. Would you be okay with that?
No. No.
But it's top quality content, Sean.
No, it's not.
So you can see how your gut is going. It isn't top quality content.
Yeah.
but rationally it is. So you can see how, rationally the brain doesn't rationalize as much as we'd like it to. Rationally it shouldn't bother you which one of me you have delivering to you, but your gut instinct says get the guy that's exciting or get the guy who's calm and assertive, but don't get this guy who's troubled by everything, and don't get this guy who seems kind of low key. Yeah. So I hope that demonstration made sense, and certainly I really hope that people can see it clearly if they're watching, and even people who are listening, they can hear that tonality of voice.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's